If you're back in Columbia and you're waking up this morning, no, it was not a dream. If you don't believe me, take a look behind me. You're going to see all the orange and purple confetti. Clemson gets it done again, and they did it against what many consider to be the standard when it comes to college football.
Remember the days when all you could do is make a phone call with one of these things? Yeah, but now it's giving everyone a voice. Well, yesterday I was scrolling through this thing on Twitter after the USC game, and it's clear that fans want to know what the deal was with the play calling in the second half. Was the offensive calls too conservative and the Gamecocks led by 17?
And what a series for Steve Pierce. Going into last night, he had no hits in his World Series career. The last two games, he had 3 home runs, and perhaps he might be even named World Series MVP.
And how about this for elite company? If the Patriots are able to win the Super Bowl tomorrow night, Gilmore would be just the 3rd Patriot ever under Belichick to win a Super Bowl, be first-team All-Pro, and make it to a Pro Bowl all in the same season.
There's plenty to be grateful for this holiday season. You have friends and family, and I mean, just look at all this food. You know what I'm grateful for? What's that? Not being a Clemson fan. Oh boy. Yeah, because losing the last 4 Palmetto Bowls is a better side to be on. Guys, Sally Bryant, buddy.
Because in World Series history, when you go up 2-0, those teams have gone on to win 80% of the time. That's the good news. But for Jackie Bradley Jr., is it going to be all good news as they go out to L.A.? Because the question now is, will he even be in the lineup?
You win a World Series, your ALCS MVP before that, and you win your first Gold Glove. What has this moment been like for you these last couple weeks?
It's been a whirlwind. Like I keep telling everybody, I'd rather be this way than the alternative.
Heading into training camp, I think a lot of people expected that Tavian Feaster would be the guy. He'd be the feature running back, and the Russian attack would go through him. Well, I'm not saying it hasn't, but at the same time, too, Rico Dowdle, he leads the Gamecocks right now in touchdowns, and he also leads the Gamecocks in rushing yards.
Heading into this weekend with the Gamecocks score on thetheir opening drive. They're 3-0, and that includes last week's kickoff return for a touchdown by Deebo Samuel. So if I told you that USC scored on their first drive today against Florida, you'd be feeling pretty good, right? Well, in case you missed the game, you might want to sit down for this one. As we go to the highlights, here we go. Gamecocks already up 7-0 with Jake Bentley just playing out of his mind. He was 7 of 7 on the opening drive and threw a touchdown pass. Here, he's at it again. Bentley to Jacob August. Have some. First touchdown for August since 2015. Bentley would start the game completing 14 of 19 passes for 2 scores through the year. He even got it done on the ground with his feet, sneaking this one in for 6, but they just couldn't put Florida away. What's going on here? USC led 31-14 at one point in the third quarter, but Florida would score 21 unanswered points to rally back for the win. Gamecocks, they just can't get it done in Gainesville as they fall today 35-31.
When it's raining and it's freezing cold and it's New Year's Eve, you hadn't had a Christmas for 7 years, 8 years, you know, I get a little emotional now. It's kind of hard for me to even talk about it.
Travis Eichner changes his voice whenever he wants to feel more relaxed. It's one of the many ways this one-star student athlete at Spring Valley High School has coped with being homeless for nearly a decade.
Some days you don't eat. You know, some of them had to stay up maybe for weeks just so that voodoo spell won't get on me. Because you might not eat it. You might eat something that's not edible.
It was an October day when this once proud member of the U.S. Coast Guard, who received an honorable discharge, had his life changed when legendary NFL trainer Chip Smith noticed him outside of an Olive Garden. He invited Travis in to join him for his first meal in a restaurant in 6 years.
He was not starved for food. He was starved for humanity and friendship and conversation.
I don't know how he knew, but Coach broke me off some money, man. I'm good, man. I can't handle it. Coach broke me off enough for my storage space. That's all I know. God have mercy.
That was only the beginning. Days later, without any way of communication, Chip drove around Duluth, Georgia for 5 hours before eventually finding Travis. He invited him to his facility, leaving Travis blown away.
There's probably 250 jerseys in my facility. There's probably 100 photos. There is just tons and tons and tons of memorabilia.
Chip has trained over 1,600 draft picks, including NFL Hall of Famers Champ Bailey and Brian Urlacher. But there was something special about one piece that grabbed Travis's attention over the rest.
Well, on the back wall, there was a photo of Brian Urlacher. And Travis stopped at that photo and he pointed at that and he said, "Coach, do you want me to paint that?"
Confused but open to the idea, Chip went out and bought art supplies for Travis. Little did he know Travis was a scholar artist who attended the South Carolina Governor's School for the Arts before receiving a scholarship at Savannah College of Art and Design.
To look at WACH and see that and knew he was already a Hall of Famer, that was NFL football.
That was on a Monday. Well, by Friday, he had completely painted this photo of Brian Urlacher, and it's unbelievable.
Chip sent a text message of the painting to the Hall of Fame linebacker. Urlacher said he wanted to sign 54 copies of Travis's painting to be sold, with all the proceeds going directly to Travis. In addition, Urlacher also sent Nike clothing and shoes to the painter.
When he received it, that was like the biggest day of my life in reference to art world and a client, especially getting off the street.
We raised about $13,000 for Travis. That was just the very beginning. Since then, Travis has painted 20 paintings. We've raised enough money. We paid off some child support he owed. We've put him in an apartment.
With the help of Smith, the Travis Project was created, an online fundraiser that has raised over $6,500. His paintings have continued to grab the attention of athletes, including his childhood hero, South Carolina legend and Heisman Trophy winner George Rogers. Smith says Eichner is a kind soul without a criminal background and is doing everything he can to get back on his feet for good.
Don't miss out on those opportunities because you're afraid of a homeless person or somebody that is not the same color as you or the same religion as you.
Reporting from Duluth, Georgia, Mike Uva, Watch Fox Sports.
Crush it! Boy. Come on, crush it!
At times there is anger, but when I get mad like that, I just work out.
At first glance, Sumter High's Nathan Harris Waynick appears to be like any other high school student athlete. Normal, a word that for most of his life has been anything but.
He has seen and lived through some things that most of us can't even imagine.
Nathan lived in and out of an orphanage called the Crosswell Children's Home for 7 years until the age of 12.
Got lonely at times. Like you don't know when you can see him again. It's sad.
With his father hardly ever being around, his mother worked multiple jobs to support him, his brother, and his sister. She did so while battling a drug addiction and abuse. Tired of going in and out of the orphanage, Nathan made a difficult choice at the age of 10. One that would later turn out to be the best decision he's ever made.
He could have gone with his family or not, and he just chose not to, and that ended up saving him from not being caught up in the system and made it where we could adopt him.
Shortly after Christmas in 2014, Nathan began living with Trip and Wendy Waynick. Just this past February, the Waynicks officially became the legal guardians of Nathan.
They're backing me up for everything I do, and I'm just glad for that. It means everything.
It was the break he needed. You see, Nathan fell in love with football during his time in the orphanage, so much so that at the age of 6, he began doing push-ups, dreaming of one day playing football in college and in the NFL.
I wanted to make my mom and them see like I could do something.
After transferring to Sumter High for his junior year, Nathan rushed for 1,050 yards and 24 touchdowns as a backup running back.
We don't want you to feel sorry for us. We just want you to know that we're going to work. We're going to work for everything. We're going to grind.
With one more season of high school to go, Tripp has no doubt the best is yet to come for Nathan.
God has certainly prepared him for trials and tribulations and bumps in the road, and he is well prepared for a couple of things.